Hey guys, Virginia here. I would like to welcome you to the COLAB, the Central Ontario Laboratory. We are here to educate, inspire, and activate. Welcome to the COLAB.
Hey there, I'm Virginia. This is the hair that lives on top, and today we are going to be talking about esports gaming with our very special guest.
And I'm Jamie Dorn. I'm the Executive Director of Research, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship at Georgian College, and I am very interested in e-gaming, so I can't wait till we jump into this conversation. Our special guest today is Carol Meissner. She is a faculty member at Georgian College, and she's the mother of some e-gamers, so she's right in there. She knows all kinds of cool stuff, and we're going to pick her brain today. So, Carol, can you kind of give us your 360? Who are you, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Nice to be here. My normal day-to-day job used to be just doing accounting. I was an accounting professor teaching in the automotive department as well. So about how car dealerships work. But as soon as both of my kids started getting involved in esports, I spent a lot of time learning about what they were getting into. So much so that I now teach a course called The Business of Esports.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
So, yeah, it's great because it keeps me in the field of business that I understand, and it's linked it now to what I know what my kids are involved in.
Awesome.
That is cool. So what's going on in the esports world these days?
A lot. Toronto has had a lot of news in the last couple of weeks in particular. They've got 3 winning teams, well, 2 of them are doing really well. But they have been making news for their results on 2 of the teams winning some international championships. They've also announced a giant new stadium that's being built in the Toronto area. So that's $500 million, 7,000 seats, and it'll be an esports arena that also handles mid-sized music concerts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
it's a great idea.
On top of it, they just announced some major investors. So the Montreal Canadiens hockey team and that ownership group have now gone into it. So there's been a lot of actual news in the local area about what's happening with professional esports.
That's amazing. And esports is huge right now.
It is globally. And that's the interesting part, is that we're actually able to host international teams in global leagues as far on the professional level. I mean, kids are already playing globally on their own. Right. I know my sons will get on the phone and say, "Oh, I don't know. I was talking to a guy. He happens to be stationed over in Taiwan, and I'm just playing this game with them." Or, "Yeah, my friend in Florida, or this person here." And I said, "Have you ever met them in person?" Nope.
So the way that works then, I guess, is that you have people, the players, they could be located in their home or some other location, but they're all signing into the same game and playing online with each other in the game. Is that how it works?
Except at the most professional levels. At the most professional levels, you definitely move out of your house and move into a gaming house or into the city that you're representing. But vast majority of players are, like you say, playing from home and really just hanging out with friends that share a common interest around the world.
What types of games are really popular for esports gaming?
Oh, that's like asking a mother what their favorite child is. There are so many. I mean, there's something out there for every interest, right?
Okay.
Anytime you play a video game competitively, it's an esport. So you can go anywhere from Tetris.
Right. Okay.
Right. I mean, there's world championships for Tetris.
That's more my speed.
I'm an old farm girl person myself, so I can see you there. But right now in Toronto, they've invested in 3 particular leagues. Yeah. So they have a Call of Duty franchise.
Right.
Okay.
They have an Overwatch franchise.
Yep.
And a Counter-Strike Global Offensive in Spain.
Oh, wow.
So they're not the only top ones, but those are the ones that are, if you want to be an Ontario fan, if you want to be a Toronto fan, and you want to support a local team.
Those are the teams. Awesome.
So what about Fortnite? I thought everybody was playing Fortnite.
You know, lots of people still are, and there's just so many other games. I know our students right now, they've been competing in a North American tournament for League of Legends.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Rocket League.
So Rocket League. I heard about. Saw my nephew playing that. That's neat.
That's a great one because it really is just soccer with cars. It gets away from any of the stereotypes or concerns that people have about certain games. You know, their reputation might be. It's Rocket League's a great one for that.
Cool.
When we talk about the games that they're playing, are they using PCs? Are they using consoles to play them?
All of the above.
All the above.
Actually,
Okay.
It's not just console and PCs, but the biggest and the growing market is actually mobile.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really? Like on your smartphone mobile?
Oh, darn right. Yes. Think about the cost of a gaming computer or the cost of a PlayStation or any one of those.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get games to play well on a phone, you've increased your global market for that
Right.
incredibly. So that's actually something that's happening everywhere else in the world and is starting to happen here in North America. Is
Awesome.
the mobile esports growth. Whereas
Where-
here, I'd say predominantly on the professional scene, heaviest is definitely on your personal computer.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
again, there's so many choices. You can play FIFA and NHL and all sorts of other console games as
Yeah.
well. So it's kind of hard to say that there's one true winner there.
Where would you say the sort of birthplace of esports gaming is?
I guess it depends on your worldview for history.
Okay.
I'll say there's definitely a lot of evidence that, for example, in the early 70s, it was the Stanford lab when they were originally in North America,
Mm-hmm.
coming up with the first computers that could people could
Like-
place any sort of game on it.
Like Pong.
Those sorts of them, yes.
Yeah.
Now, I guess it depends on where you say when did it become a bigger thing, and that's where you start going down to the PC bangs in Korea, where they really
Okay.
had brought it forward a lot more, and it became much more of a cultural phenomenon. It struggled in North America. It's had a lot of ups and downs, and we've
Yep.
been on a very long up now.
You mentioned that you have two children who actually play in esports, and it's professionally.
One pro, one collegiate.
One pro, one collegiate. All right. What types of games does your pro gamer play?
He spent 3 years working for the teams that are part of the Overwatch League. So
Okay.
Overwatch was the title. Overwatch League is a global league with 20 teams from around the world. So in the first 2 years, he lived in Los Angeles, and he worked for the Boston Uprising, which is a team owned by Robert Kraft and the New England Patriots.
Oh, neat.
And then he got traded in his second year and worked for the Dallas Fuel, moved to Dallas, and played with them for a year. So
Wild.
he just retired now. He's doing the back to school thing. Hooray.
Yay.
Cool. Well, how old is he? And like, how old was this all taking place?
He moved out of the house when he just turned 18.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
So he did 3 years. So he's 21 now.
Amazing.
That was quite the amazing journey, sending an 18-year-old off on a plane to LA and say, here, go play video games for a living. Plays collegiate and had been playing a lot longer. So his older brother did a lot to bring me along to understand how the industry worked. And I wasn't going
Awesome.
to send him off in anywhere without
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
having checked
Yeah.
it out. And a company like Blizzard Entertainment does a very good job handling a lot of young people moving to California back then.
I got a couple questions. Like, if you want to circle back, like Carol, you are teaching esports business right now, and so that makes me wonder, like, what is the esports business like? What's the kind of business model if you wanted to have an esports team or esports company?
It's anything and everything right now. It's a highly entrepreneurial market, and it's one going through a lot of growth. And there is no one business model. Everybody's trying to figure out what works.
Really?
So
How are people making money at the moment? I don't
That's
know.
okay.
Are they?
I like that.
No, they're paying the players. So how are they paying the players?
Sponsorship.
Okay.
Right?
So it is very much driven by the people interested in getting into the eyeballs or getting the viewership that's happening. So
Right.
a large proportion of the revenues, the income to pay those players and to play what's going, setting up the venues and all those kinds of things really is from the corporations that are investing and the large companies who see the future in it. So in Toronto, as I was saying, we got the Montreal Canadiens.
Right.
In Boston, it's the New England Patriots. So they're looking at expanding their market. They're willing to invest in the long term.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not making money right now. They are,
Right.
again, putting their own investments in because they're seeing the evolution of sport over time.
Right.
Okay.
That's smart. So they're kind of seeding this new market that they see is going to grow, and try to get more and more people looking at it and checking it out and becoming more interested.
Exactly. And there's a large number of investors. So a lot of companies want to be part of it.
Okay.
So again, my background being in the automotive industry, one thing I've noticed that's one of the larger sponsors that aren't, gaming computers and soft drinks and those kinds of things. One of the largest sponsors actually the automobile companies.
Oh, interesting.
So, I put BMW probably at the top right now on their spending, but Mercedes just bought some teams. So they actually are,
Really?
Mercedes-Benz owns esports teams, and these are not in racing. These are esports teams in things like League of Legends.
Yep.
Which has the sort of the best audience right now. So what they're looking to do is a very different approach to business, is to understand that if we want to sell cars to wealthy young people in the future, where are the wealthy young people now?
Yep,
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very tricky.
Mm-hmm.
So they're seeing it as a very important sort of marketing channel for them, and they're moving their funds out of other sports into esports right now.
Oh, very interesting. I could see that would be a big thing, especially since we're in a pandemic right now and there's so many people who are home. And they're really seeing this sort of like explosion in that market. And they're like, oh, if we get our toes in there now, if we get our foot in the door, we will be one of the companies who really started like pushing this out there.
It's a tricky one. There are some companies that are just trying to look at it maybe a little too opportunistically.
Okay.
And are trying to just say, well, let's do something because it's esports, and they're not maybe nailing it quite right.
Right.
A lot of requests for sort of authenticity, that people are going to get involved, that they're getting involved for the right reasons, and that they do want to stay in for the long run as well.
Mm-hmm. So when do you think, like right now, the viewership, that's mostly people under 30, would you say? Or what do you think the viewership is right now?
Actually, some of the viewership is putting it a little bit higher than that on average, because there is such a wide range of interest. Because when you say esports, it's not like just saying, well, who watches baseball?
Right.
Esports has so many different genres and types and games that the viewership is actually quite broad, and the marketers are seeing it's actually, demographically speaking, in that sort of 25 to 35 range with high incomes.
Okay.
So it's a very attractive niche for marketers to get in.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it has to be done just right.
Where do you think esports gaming is going to go within our college, at Georgian College?
Well, it's already here. The students have been very active for several years.
Yes.
Before I was even involved, there's been students trying to game, and we've been hosting, or not me, the students have been hosting events on campus, supported by GCSA, the Henry Bernick Center. So they've already been running these esports events on campus, getting a large number of students coming in for the evening, having just casual game nights hanging around. And right now they've moved virtually.
Yes, that would be our Cyber Grizzlies, right?
That is. And the Cyber Grizzlies, they were competing, well, not for the first time, but again, their favorite sport so far has been League of Legends.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In the Eastern Conference of League of Legends this spring.
So what my question was going to be around, like, if I wanted to start watching some of these things, where do I go, and how do I watch esports? And
anywhere and everywhere right now that young people are broadcasting. So of course I'm sitting here with my Twitch shirt on.
Yes, I was going to say Twitch.
that's the most sort of obvious one, but it's not the only place, because if we jump back to funding, one of the bigger sources of funding that's coming through now is broadcasting rights.
Interesting.
So, whether things are being now shown on YouTube first, or if they're going to Facebook Gaming first, or if they're going to another site, may also just depend on those contracts that have come up as well. So it is very game specific, but I'll still put Twitch as my favorite.
Yes.
I see.
Place that I'll go to look for stuff.
Awesome.
The neat part about it from a sort of a career perspective and where it's coming is the fact that we actually need everything for this.
Yeah.
We need, experts in sports management. We need people with medical backgrounds to be able to help with some of the injuries and the training, because they do have research now proving that if you're more physically fit, you actually play esports better. And then we've got, like you say, marketing, branding, project management, event management. It's everything that you see in sports events, media events. It's all needed in this industry.
Amazing.
So it's a new industry, and we're going to grow it all out over the next few years.
Well, and the best part is it's transferable skills.
Yeah.
So if you want to get into esports, but you're really into marketing, get your marketing diploma and then learn about esports and work in that field.
Do you think more colleges will be offering programs that involve esports aside from just esports business, but like more than that?
They're definitely starting right now. So we've got 5 esports related programs in the province of Ontario so far, but another whole bunch down in the United States, and they go by their areas of expertise. So for example, in New York State, there's quite an interest in esports and health. So it's more on the science side of it and the physicality side of it. Then you go to another state and they're very much on the communication side and the social media management, community management, that sort of it. Another school then will focus on the broadcasting side. Boise State, for example, is phenomenal for that. They really know how to do a great production around their events and have students behaving as broadcasters and learning video editing and all of those things as part of their work.
Interesting.
So it is.
That is interesting, especially since we are at Georgian. We're going to try to do a little bit more around having some studios and capability of making our students and faculty have access to that kind of stuff so they can make their own films. Maybe we can partner up with the Cyber Grizzlies and see what we can do.
Well, I know for sure one thing that I have put into the makerspace is a section of computers, or not computers, but a section where you can set up your gaming laptop and actually plug directly into the Ethernet. So as opposed to pushing on the Wi-Fi, they should be able to hook up right to the Ethernet with some designated hours where they'll be allowed to have some like straight game time. And since the space is large, once we get back in there, hopefully we'll be able to have a slight audience to that as well.
Oh, the varsity team would be so excited to have all of this done on site right now.
Yes.
Especially like you say, a little bit better connection would make a difference to them.
It's super key.
But to have their broadcaster nearby as well, because right now we do have a student who is casting the events.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
So he's the shoutcaster, and he's like doing the play-by-play and talking about what's happening, and they got a friend online and explaining everything to everyone. They're doing a great job.
Oh my God, that sounds so great. That sounds so good. So we had some gaming news in our family this past week. I didn't realize it, but I knew my nephews played games, but my oldest nephew, he's 24 now. He's been playing, I don't know what games, probably Call of Duty and stuff like that. And Overwatch, that's definitely one of them. He got added to the Obey Alliance this week, and that was a big piece of news. I had no idea what Obey Alliance is, so I had to go and research it to find out what it was. And so it's an international team of players who play a small set of games. So I was like,
that's
wow.
wonderful.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity out there.
I have just one anecdote that way back in 2015.
Back in the day.
Way back in the day. I went to a game conference for like a board game conference, and it was learning about the board game industry and all that kind of stuff. And that's where I met my first professional gamer. He was a part of a group. He's living in Las Vegas, but he was associated with a game company there that were making board games and then apps, and they were also connected into esports. And so, and his name was Mohawk Mike, and he had been playing for a long time. And, I was fascinated by the idea that this guy was a pro gamer, e-gamer. So I was asking him a ton of questions. And apparently, he was like 15 or 16 when they recruited him. And I don't even know what games were happening back then, right? Because when I met him, he was probably 23 or 24 years old. So it would have been a lot earlier. So back in the Nintendo days and all that, Nintendo Power. And I just thought that was so amazing. But, his life trajectory after being a pro gamer, in being somebody who was in the entertainment industry, in games in general, like and the whole market around people enjoying games, that led him into game design. And so he was working for this game design company in Las Vegas because he has an insight into how to market and sell the games to the right audience, but also like what makes a game fun. And so that he was contributing to them in that level. I just thought, wow, what a cool life trajectory. So, maybe all these students we've got that maybe are Cyber Grizzlies, and maybe my nephew, you never know where they're going to end up in 6 to 10 years once their game trajectory's over. Maybe the games change.
Well, it's funny, if the games change, they just move on to the next ones.
It's true.
Yeah.
I have seen it happen.
Popular, they kind of migrate. I have to mention my other son because it's collegiate, but he did 2 years of Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
First, they were basically 2 years of the North American champions in that.
Yeah.
Then now they've switched because it's less popular with that particular group of people into a game called Valorant, and they're going to be playing in the North American finals. So they'll be either number 1 or number 2 this year in a completely different video game.
Neat.
So there is some crossover between some of the games, so that if somebody leaves one of them, they may go to another. Say, my younger son, not interested in all, loves his Overwatch and doesn't want to switch to another game. But the older one was quite happy to sort of migrate through.
Right, cool. So what's going to happen in the VR world? We're going to have VR games and e-games in VR.
I've already talked to our VR guy on campus. One of the things we want to do is run a VR games night.
Oh, awesome.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm in. I'm VR paintball. I love that game.
I mean, there's already a number of esports that are happening in the VR world, but even just for the rest of us, if you want to give me a round of mini golf, I'll go for you on that.
Oh, mini golf. That sounds fun too.
We've got that one at home too, and it's just a hoot. So I think that would be a great thing on campus, is to get.
Yeah, it could be cool. Actually, you could even be spectators. So you could have all these people hanging out, watching it in VR, watching it happen in front of you would be wild.
Yeah. So we've definitely got some support and interest from people at the school already. Yep. So that is coming down the pipes. As soon as we're on campus again, we'll be looking for a spot to host that.
Sweet. Amazing. Okay. We'll help.
Awesome. Okay, I'll hold you to that.
Yes, hold us to it, because I'm already excited.
Problem.
I was really excited when the Cyber Grizzlies first started, because I actually got to help them make their very first logo T-shirts in the makerspace. So we had a maker event, and they were like, "Can we make our own shirts?" I was like, "Absolutely." And they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Absolutely, yes." And they were like, "Oh my God." And they got so excited. So Sergio was there, and he made a whole bunch of shirts, and they all had their own like emblem on there. And it was really great to see that mixture of being able to do like a physical thing and being so proud of it and bringing it right to their gaming. So I was really excited to support that.
That's what they're missing is, while we say this is great that the Cyber Grizzlies, they keep the club going online, they can still work online. They're missing those human connections, and they're talking about shirts again right now.
Yep.
And they're missing out on those opportunities because we can't be on campus. So I think even all these virtual people are going to be extremely glad to be able to see people and come back all together.
Absolutely.
We got to get them login credentials for the virtual campus, because they could have their own office in there, and then that's where they could meet, and we could meet with them inside there, our iLearn virtual campus.
Yes, the super cool campus. Yes.
That's where my business of esports. It's a fully online course, but we're going to do our meet and greet there.
Awesome.
Cool.
Just to, at least we have a chance to see each other.
Yeah, no, it's fun for that reason. And if you can think of any other uses for it, just let us know, and we'll give you a room in there.
Yeah, actually, I think we want to do a beach one on the first day.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Beach and dance party, those are good.
Yeah, you and I did a boat ride too. I think I can get a bunch of students to go on boat rides as
well.
Yes, you can do a boat race. I went on there and I did a race.
Yeah, esports in there.
Yes, exactly. So I think we have learned quite a bit about esports today, from where it sort of began, where it is right now, and where it can go into the future. And Carol, I would really like to thank you for coming on today and telling us and informing us about all these amazing opportunities for students.
And we'll probably have to have you back on again, Carol.
Sounds great. I love this.
For an update.
I love your guys' support of all this stuff too. So it's really a win-win for all of us here. So thanks for having me on today.
Hey, no problem. And we'll get some Cyber Grizzlies to come on the show with us at the same time.
Yes. So, Carol, would you like to do our final asking people to like and subscribe by pointing down at the bottom of the screen and asking people to like and subscribe to our amazing show?
As in, okay, everybody, please like and subscribe.
Exactly.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you put your comments down below and please subscribe just like Carol asked you to. That would be fantastic.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.